Hello guys, this is your Uncle Big Fish, and on this video, I'll be talking a little bit about this class, Invoker. Now, a lot of people have been asking for this content for so long, probably the past 8 months or so. I got so many DMs, so many comments from people asking, Uncle fucking Big Fish, please give us an Invoker content. And for so long, I didn't want to do that. I just don't want to do that out of one purpose. I don't want you guys to go insane. Okay, I don't want you guys to lose your mind because this class is unbelievably horrible. It's actually garbage. The immunity of this class in Arena is absolutely garbage, and I don't want you guys to be stressed out. Okay, now that is me telling you guys why I don't want to do this. However, this series that we got, the how-to, like how good is series, well, this one is how bad is Invoker. Alright, where am I going with this? Oh shit, Invoker is so bad. I think the sword of Berserker without the Berserker is stronger than her. Yeah, no, okay, that was meant to be a joke, but it's clearly not funny because this class sucks. But it is what it is. By the way, today we're gonna have Sun Crash, probably the best Invoker player that I know from NA. He will be talking a little bit more about this class. So what I'm gonna be doing is this, okay? I'm gonna be explaining to you guys the basics of this class. I'm gonna teach you the well, I'm not gonna teach you anything. I'm gonna tell you what the skills are, what this class is good at or bad at, in my opinion. And then I'm gonna move it along and pass it on to Suncrash to explain to you guys the tips and tricks and some arena clips that I asked them to record. Obviously, the clip will be uncut, and of course, no rushing, all that bullshit there. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that one later on. But let's just start with her skills. All right. Let's start from the very first one. This will be Electric Wave. Now, this is probably a PvE skill. We don't really use this skill for anything. It deals a knockback on hit. The base power is fucking low. As you see there, it's 900. No, it's 880. Well, yeah, around that area. But it does have very low cooldown, and it has Surret. So you can actually use this for arenas, just for the Surret. You can heal. The cooldown is very, very short. It's only 4 seconds, yeah? Next, well, this is it is what it is, okay? Next will be the skill Fissure. Now, this one's quite weird, okay? This skill is essentially does that twice, okay? It does that twice. It has this one. Hold the skill button for an extra additional attack. Now, this skill is your main super armor skill. This works in the arenas as well. It has relatively low cooldown. It's around 8 seconds, but it actually lasts quite long. Like, it has this multi-fissure, which makes it last significantly longer. So it's actually quite nice, yeah? Next, let's talk about Overcharge. This one is one of your filler skills. This thing deals a stun on hit. The damage is quite lacking, but well, the cooldown is pretty low. But I mean, like, I think there's some builds that does use this, but for me, I probably won't. Okay. Next one will be the skill Static Shield. This is probably the most funny skill. It does a knockback on the first hit and knockdown on the last hit. I'm pretty sure you guys see this already. It has a decent base power, around 300 times 5, so 1.5k. It's not great by any means. I think at max levels it will be like 350 times 5. It's still not great, guys. It's not great at all, yeah? And it's not great because it has no branches either, so it's kind of ass, if you get it. Alright, next will be skill Cataclysm. I got this one at level 8 for some reason. I don't know why, but well, it is what it is, right? So this thing heals 120 per hit. It hits 5 times, so it's actually decent, and it's a super armor skill as well. So you can actually use this to quite a high margin. You can use this skill to heal yourself while you're trading. Obviously, the base power is pretty low. It has only about 300 times 5, 1500 base power, so it's fucking low damage, very, very low damage. but it is what it is. It does have a heal, and it does have a decent range and reach, so it's actually not bad at all. Okay, there's a knock up on hit as well. I think the good part is this class have a lot of knock ups, which is like the best of the others, like bound and knockdown. This one's the best one. Yeah. Next will be the skill of Voltaic Burst. Blast away enemies with continuous bolts of lightning. That's cool. All right, so this is what it does. Okay, it just does that. It has daze on first hit and knockback on the last hit. Okay, this one, when activated, cast skills after teleporting. So you can actually use this while you're moving. So that's actually quite interesting. You can use the skill while you're moving. All right, I think that's a couple things that most Invoker players would be forced to do, because yeah, this class pretty much moves around the fact that this class can move a lot. You see that? So when you have the flow on, what you do is you can actually use your analog. It will teleport first, and then it will shoot. So that's actually quite interesting. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Here's what it does. Alright, so you actually move just a little bit. You can move a little bit, and then you will hit. But if you don't turn the flow on, it will be just a hit. It doesn't. The only change is if you turn off the flow, you can't move while you're doing it. But if you turn on, you can move while you're doing it. The base power it's not great. It's around 300 times 3, so about 900 times 2, so 1.8k. It's not great, but it does have Serret Air All. This class's damage is fucking low, so I don't recommend going for Serret, but if you want to, I guess you can. Serret gives you more sustain, but this class has no damage, so probably gonna go like All instead, just to mitigate that damage loss. It's kind of bad, guys. Alright. Next will be the Lightning Storm. This is pretty much a PvE skill, probably. It doesn't knock down hit. It doesn't really do anything except for that. Yeah, it has no immunities either, so it's kind of dud. Yeah. Next will be the skill Power Surge. Now, this is one of your main, one of your main fillers. If you see here, this thing deals roughly around 1,300, 1,300, 1,400, around 1,200, around that area at level 10. This thing hits 3 times, and it has a piercing attack. Plus, it also moves. Now, if you see this one, Power Surge will be on the very bottom left of my skill kit. You can see here. You see that? Yeah. It allows you to move while you're casting it. So it's actually really nice. It allows you to move while you're casting it. And it's actually a lot more useful than you think, because it allows you to move, pressure, and also deal damage. However, do not understand that this skill does not have CC. If you see there, it doesn't have CC. It does have damage, but it doesn't have CC, so it's kind of pointless if you understand. It's very disappointing, guys. Okay, fine. The cooldown is very low, so I guess it's okay. It has 2 charges. Probably if they make this Serret, probably this class would be somewhat better, but it doesn't, so it's fucking sad. Alright, next will be your main stab, or your super tier attack power. This will be the skill Gigavolt. Now, this one is your main stab, so it deals the most damage. This thing is further boosted with your passive. Later on, we'll talk about it. In hindsight, it has a base power of about 1.6k at level 1. So roughly maybe 2.2k at level 10, yeah? This thing also have the overcurrent zone, which is like this lightning zone that appears when you use a skill. You see there's like a lightning on the floor. It doesn't last very long, but it does deal some bits of damage. Not impressive, 5%. And it's garbage. It's garbage. But what it does is, it has another setback. This thing has invisible. Now, if I use the skill, Gigavolt, and then I just walk a bit, you see there, I turn into this lightning thingy. And by this lightning thingy, it actually turns off auto-lock from an enemy. And when you're against an enemy in Black Sun or Field, this is very difficult to see. It's actually very difficult to see. And if they're not using like good graphics, if you're going like low graphics, they can't even see you. Like they can't even see you. And this actually lasts for quite a bit, guys. I'll just show you here again how long this thing lasts. Alright, this thing lasts for quite a bit, about 6 seconds. Yeah, this thing will last for quite a bit. So it's actually interesting how you can actually use this to run away and stuff. You're not protected while you're using it, at least in the arena. So yeah, try not to overestimate what this can do, at least. However, it's actually quite nice. It allows you to, it has a lot of utility. It allows you to move away, to disengage, or you can use this to engage an enemy. Probably not, but, well, it is what it is. You can use this for a lot of different purposes, and I think that it's a very useful skill. Stealth is always a really, really good addition to a class's kit. I think stealth is very strong. But the thing is, people can actually see you while you're using this, while you're in this lightning state. If you're in the arenas, people can actually see you. They can't chase after it, but it does break the enemy's lock, which is really nice, because it turns off the auto lock on you. So they need to manually target you with skills that are directional priority. Or otherwise, enemies will not just hit you. Like if you use a class like Buccaneer, she can't hit you with her smooth sailing, because smooth sailing is not directionally targeted. It just goes by itself and hits random places. So it's actually, this class pretty much is like really annoying when it comes to like classes without like directional priority. Now let's talk about the next one. The next skill will be Bodyguard. This is pretty much your opening skill. It is a pure iframe skill. It deals a daze on hit. The flow changes the skill CC from daze to from bound to a daze. This is sort of the few skills that actually have this interaction. It's very rare for a skill to have a different kind of CC. It's very, very rare, but it is what it is. It changes the whole skill, making this from a bound to a daze. It's a pure iframe. It has 8-second cooldown. So quite long, yeah, it's quite long. Next will be the skill Energize. This is pretty much your buff skill. It doesn't really do much. Apply Thunder State to restore cooldown, and restore cooldown upon skill use. So it's actually quite nice. It allows you to stay in a Thunder State for a while. You can see the Thunder State when you see like your character glowing like blue, like that. So it's actually quite nice. Plus it has an additional movement speed bonus, 10% for 30 seconds. So it's actually quite great, yeah? Now let's talk about her passive. Now this is actually the big issue that people don't understand. When MP is higher than 80, consume all MP and apply Thunder State for 15 seconds. Now when you're in Thunder State, you get damage against all bosses, plus 10%. This is not a lot because her base power is very, very low. And because of that, even if with the additional 10%, even with 20%, she'll still deal like garbage. Increase damage to adventures by 10%. It sounds like it's a lot, but it's not. The damage of this class is absolutely garbage. It's absolutely garbage. And because of that, this doesn't really do anything. Gigavolt skill damage plus 30%. So this Gigavolt suddenly became not too bad. It's still bad, but it's not too bad, right? Like the additional 30% is actually quite significant. It's actually quite great. Reduces cooldown duration of Voltaic Burst in Gigavolt for 0.5 upon skill use. That one is respectable, but it's not great by any means. Hitting with an electrical skill applies a shock debuff. A shock debuff applies 150 damage per 1 second for 3 seconds. So it deals like 450 damage, like pure damage, fixed damage. It's not great, like 450 damage is close to nothing, but well, I guess it's better than nothing, I guess. This class is just really, really bad. In my honest opinion, this class is absolutely garbage, but it does have a lot of it has a really good kit. I would say like the kit itself is actually not bad. The idea behind the class is to kite enemies. This class was designed around kiting people. That is the whole idea behind the class. The class is very cool. It has a lot of like these like a lightning thingy. It looks kind of cool, guys. It looks kind of cool. Not gonna lie, this class is pretty cool. Like if you guys don't know, like the only difference between this class and Archmage and the aesthetic, like aesthetically at least, this class has lightning and earth, while Archmage has fire and ice. That's pretty much the whole element, if you understand. Now, one last thing for me before we move on and before I pass this to Suncrash is the skill Summon Tet. Now, in case you guys don't know, if you press the skill Summon Tet, you get super armor. If you see that on my screen there, this thing gives you all that. It gives you super armor, and it does apply in the arena as well, so it's actually quite nice, yeah? So you can actually, the first button on the, if you see here on my Black Spirit skill, if you look to the left, there's two buttons, right? The one with the arm, with the lightning, and the last one is this Tet monster, yeah? If you press the first one, it will order Tet to attack enemies. And this, I mean, it's kind of garbage actually. 25% of all Spectra, all Spira mastery. 25% is actually kind of garbage because yeah, who's gonna auto attack with? Yeah, it's garbage, guys. It's absolutely garbage. I'm gonna pretend that never happened. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the Summon Tet. So if you put Tet away like so, you can actually click the summon skill, and this will give you super armor. Now this super armor lasts for 2 seconds, so it's not bad. But the class is very soft, so she might get fucked while you're doing it. But I do recommend you trying this out. Like once in a while, it might be useful because more immunity is always a good addition for at least a class with low immunity like her. So I think aside from that, there's only one last thing I'm going to talk about, and that's the fact that this skill Bodyguard actually breaks forward guard. So it's actually quite nice. You can use this to kill GMs and stuff, although yeah, one CC from GM and you're probably dead. So it's yeah, this class is absolutely garbage. I think I've said this class is garbage like 69 times. But that is about it for me. And I really hope you guys enjoyed my part of the story. This class is absolutely garbage in almost every content. However, in the hands of a whale, this class is broken. I'm not kidding. If you're using like a top 5 CP count and you're playing Invoker, this class is fucking broken. And the reason for that is if you have that high of a CP, you don't lack damage. And the only thing bad about this class is the damage. The damage is very, very, very low. That's about it. Everything else is great. The mobility is great. The survivability is great. It's just the damage. It's really, really shit. Her damage and her arena immunity is garbage. But everything else is great. Her mobility is excellent. Her utility is excellent. Her coverage is excellent. Forward guard check, anti-grab check, mobility check. The only thing bad is the damage, the bulk, and the last thing, the damage. Yeah, the damage does deserve like two calls because it sucks so bad. Like I'm not kidding, it's so bad. It's actually worse than Destroyer. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed my part of the story. I'm gonna pass this on to Suncrash. Suncrash will explain a lot more in detail about this class. I do know this class a bit. I do play this class a bit, but definitely not great. So let's just go over to him, and he's got a lot of things to tell you guys, a lot of tips and tricks. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, it's Suncrash. If for some reason you've hit your head really hard on something and you think playing Invoker is a good idea, here are some general tips for you. So, she doesn't have a really long rotation in Arena. Her only protected skills are Fissure, Cataclysm, and Bodyguard. And if you do all of those skills right away, as you can see, I need to wait for them to come off cooldown, and now Bodyguard's ready. So if I do those, let me show you how much time it is if you just spam all those skills right away. I need to dodge, 2, 3, 4, and in Arena you'd be out right there, and guess what? You'll get CC'd because you're not going to have your skills ready. So I would say if you're going to try to do a rotation against somebody, you really want to try to avoid doing too many consecutive skills unless you're pretty sure you're going to catch your opponent. And that really leads me to what I consider the most important thing about playing Invoker, which is understanding what your opponent's rotation is and when they might try to take a risk, and sort of trying to predict that, because if you can't do that, you're always going to run out of skills every single time. And if you can also factor in your positioning, that can also help you stay on your feet a lot longer. You know, if somebody's coming at me, maybe I block them with this and dodge back, bodyguard, and then if they're staying over here and they've already used up their mobility skills and now I've dodged to the middle, then I can use some unprotected skills to move around, maybe dodge cancel, power surge, because this will lock you in place if you let it cast all the way, but it's useful to sort of half cast it sometimes to get a little bit of room, especially if you think that first hit will catch someone. Otherwise, it's good to just use power surge to get around the edge of the arena while your opponent can't reach you. It's pretty tough with the current state of the game because a lot of classes can sort of do 24/7 pressure, and you won't really be able to get far enough away from them to ever do that, which is why I say it's really important to not just do all of your super armor right away, all of your protections, and just waste all of it. You really want to think about what skill or what timing might work to catch the specific class you're playing against. So I would really only recommend playing Invoker if you've already spent a decent amount of time on several other classes first and really sort of gotten a rhythm down, especially some popular classes. Maybe you don't need to play things like Yacha or Berserker, things that a lot of people are playing right now because you sort of just see enough of it to get a good picture, but just play some other classes and learn how they work and where they might take risks, and then you can use that knowledge when you are playing Invoker. Oh, and I guess another important thing is you cast Gigavolt at the end of a lot of combos, and then if you use Power Surge, you'll go into this Lightning Run, which breaks target lock. Your opponent can still see that little lightning bulb, so be careful. They can still see you, even though they can't lock on, so good players will still catch you out of that. And you can also go into it quickly with Bodyguard. Both of those will start that quickly. Your alternative is to just start walking. If you just walk after you've casted Gigavolt, it will also put you in, which I'll show you here. You can also just walk, but it's usually quicker to do a little Power Surge or Bodyguard, depending on the scenario. But yeah, I think that's mostly it. I guess I'll show you my my general combo. If you can engage someone from far away, I'll usually start with Voltaic Burst. It's unprotected in Arena, so you need to be careful. If I'm up close, I'll start with Bodyguard and then go into the same thing. So I guess I'll show you off of Bodyguard, because Bodyguard will also break Forward Guard. That's probably your best opportunity to catch someone. So let's say some Grandmaster's spamming shoulder thrust in my face. I'm gonna Bodyguard behind him and then come back and do something that looks like that, and then I'll keep going into my rotation and he'll be standing up by that point. So just to sort of talk through the skills I'm doing, I'll use Bodyguard, Voltaic Burst, Cataclysm, Gigavolt, and if he's right next to me, you don't need to do Power Surge. That's really just to close any distance there is, but the important thing is to hit him with Overcharge right there, because that skill is actually pretty decent damage on a down target in Arena, even though it doesn't have any branches or anything. So yeah, everything I've said so far applies to Arena. As far as other content goes, I think Invoker's still a phenomenal Raminus class. I guess I'll show you quickly the skill set I would use for Raminus. I personally like to put all of my mobility skills on one page so I can be on the run. This doesn't work so well in Arena because you usually don't want to use these skills together. They're all unprotected except Bodyguard. But this is useful to me for field, and then if I feel like I can stand still, I have all of my skills that would be in place on this other page. So yeah, I think because even though Invoker's damage is not very high, her mobility is very good, and she can take orbs very easily with this. If Lagos or another big objective is going to go down, you can hold this by holding it by not holding the button. If you hold the button down, it comes out faster. If you don't hold it down, she'll do that long animation. So I'll show you that. If I hold the button down, it comes out about that quick. But if I don't hold it, sorry, wait for it to come up, cool down. If I don't hold it, she'll wait. So if there's a big objective coming down, then the next time you press the button, you'll cast the skill. So it's useful for that. In terms of field PvP, I think she's still good because her survivability is decent. She has this forward guard where if I'm fighting someone, I can move backwards, and you can't see right now because I don't have target lock, but if I'm locked on something here and jump back, you'll forward guard in the direction of the target lock instead of the direction you're moving, which is very helpful for kiting people. You also have this to get away from people, and of course the lightning rod, which this can be really good in Black Sun because even if people can still sort of see you, if you can get a lot of distance in a big open map, it's hard for people to keep up with you. Really only like Void Knights and Yachas and other high mobility classes will be able to keep up with you. You'll be able to run away from anyone else and also catch anyone else. So yeah, she's still a relatively decent pick for field. I think her damage is a little bit low, is really the main thing that holds her back right now, but I really like her style, I like her aesthetic, so if you like her for that too, and if you don't play super competitively necessarily, I think that she's a great pick. I love playing the class, I love the way she moves, I love the way her skills look, and if you do too, I think that's really the thing that should decide what class you play. So I guess we'll transition into a little gameplay segment here really soon. Thank you for having me on the channel, Uncle Fish. It's a pleasure, and I'll see you all sometime soon.
Above the sky beneath the sea, hiding in a space or lost in our destiny. Believe in me and be with me. Your love reasons meant to be. I've seen people come and go with hand broken dreams. When the stars are gone, the night is cold and slowly. But if it's my only chance to catch you in this tiny life, the world on fire and I will hold you tight to the end of the time. None of us will say goodbye, and my love will die forever. future. Can you tell me the end of story is fine? No one will sacrifice. Are you fine and powerful enough to try and sweat and tears before me? I do life. You know why this spirit is floating high. There's no time to cry. Get up and fight. No try to escape, 'cause everything is going to break like a bird imprisoned in the cage. Even has the round race of nonsense, something or pain. Sunset in my mind has been casting the rain. I'll try to start over the anguish heart. Let the scars fade out deep in your heart. Remember, 84's sake of saving on world case. As long as it's proud in my faith. Standing on the borderline. Actually, both of us are about to break. It drives me crazy. Not really sure if we'll do it. This world we are living is full of unmade. Struggling so hard. Between the lines, think that you're losing your mind. Wake up every time, stuck in black and white. Did you find the answer deep inside? There's nowhere to hide, just hold me tight. No try to escape, no better run to freedom and rise. You are birth imprisoned in the cage. Build up this loneliness, no need for you to be ashamed. In this parallel world, at least we feel the same. Now fight to look for the forgotten stars. For long eating, calling from apart. Remember, 84's sake of saving on the world case. As long as it comes in my face. Lemon tree, sun rays. Once and again, telling a story lost in time. The way it starts and the way it ends. Never again making a story seem dismay. When zero stop, just one end. How I love to embrace the future breaking out of shades from the past, still in place. Your tears for the day so far away. To irrigate the wilderness that still can see in the world, waiting to be lit, to spread over the riverbed so dry and dead. Let ships there